This month we're celebrating LGBTQI Pride. Today's guest is Anna Alison Brenner, an award-winning young playwright. Anna currently serves as the Artistic Fellow at Shakespeare Theatre Company here in Washington, D.C., where her latest play, God is Dead and April's Getting Married, was produced as the 2016-17 Fellows Project at the Forum at Sidney Harmon Hall. Today, Anna learned that she'll be joining the team at the Lark Theatre in New York City as their Artistic Roundtable Apprentice. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
She has cerebral palsy and strives to share her unique perspective through her writing about queer, Jewish, and disability themes. I'd like to thank Jordan Berger for introducing us. Jordan, who recently graduated from Cornell University, has been an invaluable contributor to the human perspective. Anna graduated from Cornell in 2016. Welcome, Anna.
Thank you so much for having me.
We're really happy you could come. She's been here a year, and we've been trying to set up a time, and she's leaving on Sunday, so I'm really glad we got to do this.
Perfect timing.
So, Anna, could you give us a little bit of information about how you got involved with the arts?
Sure.
And when did you get involved? When did you know it was something you really wanted to continue?
Absolutely. So I'm from New York City, born and raised.
Thank you, Brooklyn.
There we go. And I grew up going to the theater. My family is a big theater family. We love theater. I was very close to my great aunt Helen, who brought me to my first Broadway show, which was Beauty and the Beast. I was terrified. I was 2 years old. And yeah, so it was always in my blood, sort of. From a very young age, I enjoyed acting, singing, all that good stuff. I didn't start writing plays, though, until 9th grade. I was in Miss Muniz's 9th grade English class, and we read The Glass Menagerie by Tennessee Williams, and I loved it so much that I decided I was just going to write a play, and I never stopped after that. So that's kind of how it all happened. I'd been writing for a long time, and then plays just seemed to make sense to me.
When did you identify as being queer?
Oh boy, that is a wonderful question. So, I guess all my life I sort of had some sense of my queer identity, but I didn't become fully comfortable with it and embrace it until I was about 18. I actually came out sort of by accident. I wrote a play for another English class in which there were, major queer themes, and it was basically a coming out story of one of the main character of the play. And it actually won a national playwriting competition, and then I had to tell everyone what the play was about, so suddenly I was out, and that's how it happened. And since then, I have really embraced my identity and have continued writing plays with queer themes ever since.
So when did you begin to identify as a disabled person?
That is an even better question. So when I grew up, I knew, I guess since I was, for as long as I can remember, I've always known that there was something different about me. My parents never really told me what it was, other than that my legs worked a little bit differently than other people's, and it was a little more difficult for me to walk. Other than that, I didn't really know much else. I had surgery to lengthen my heel cords when I was 3 or 4 years old. And then after that, continued to have physical therapy, which I had more at the beginning of my life and continued to for a while. But I actually didn't know that I had a disability until I was 13. I went to my pediatrician's office, and she very casually asked me, "So how's the CP going?" And I said, "What's CP?" Because I had no idea what it was. So I went home and Googled it, and I realized I had cerebral palsy. So that's how it happened. And since then, it has been a long journey to get to where I am today, where I'm really trying to embrace the disability community and also, understand that I too am part of it, and to write about it as well in my plays.
And so you also weave in your Jewishness.
Yes,
so
absolutely.
Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so my Jewish identity has been extremely important to me from the very beginning as well. I'm a third-generation American. My great-grandparents came primarily from Poland and also Russia and Germany, which is where Brenner comes from. And it's just always been very important for me. Being Jewish, I went to Hebrew school for many, many years, and while at this point I'm more culturally Jewish than anything else, being around, and I spent a lot of time with the older generations of my family, such as my grandparents and my great aunt, Helen, who I mentioned earlier.
You had a disability also, right?
Yes, she had polio, and from the start, she was always the most encouraging person. Ever since I was like a little girl, she would always tell me, "Anna, always remember you can do anything you want to do, be anything you want to be if you try. And she would always tell me that, and I think part of the reason we connected so deeply was because she wanted to be sort of a cheerleader for me that she felt like she didn't have growing up. So I'm really indebted to her. And it was her and my grandparents and just all the stories that they had growing up in Coney Island in the 1930s and 40s, and my great-grandparents from Poland, and just that rich Jewish storytelling history that I have really, it's part of me at my core, and it's a big part of my theater as well.
So have you found it difficult to weave these three parts of you together?
Yeah, sometimes yes. It really just depends. When you're writing a play, you want to make it as cohesive as possible. So each play I write focuses on sort of a different aspect of me and what I want to explore in life at the moment, and what I think should be explored in theater more these days, because representation is so important, and I think we all should be striving to tell our stories and tell important stories.
So we were discussing earlier a little bit about the fact that disability is finally coming more into the arts, although we continue to see many non-disabled people playing disabled characters.
Yes.
So I'm wondering a little bit about your thinking of where we are, what you've seen in the years that you've been involved, and where you're hoping this is going to go.
Sure. I think that we're starting to take some good steps in the sense that, theater is tries to be, aims to be, aspires to be this inclusive space. And we could do a lot better. As a playwright, it's my goal to keep writing realistic disability narratives and to, do all that I can to make sure that, say, we do have disabled actors playing disabled roles. But again, we got a long, long way to go. So we just got to keep trying and keep pushing.
So what are some of the messages for people that are watching today, both people who are interested in becoming a part of the arts and people who maybe should be or may want to go more to see the arts?
Sure. Storytelling is so important. Tell your stories. See stories that matter to you. Supporting the arts and being there and seeing things that you think are important, that's just as important as telling your story and creating the art itself. So more than anything, I would say just embrace what makes you special and different, and write about it and see things about it and learn about other people as well. The arts are so great at opening doors to things that we never imagined, or showing us experiences that we personally don't have, and opening our minds in that way. So just really embrace it. That's what I would say.
Well, here we are again at the end, and I'm so sorry. Thank you, Anna, and thanks the audience for tuning in to The Human Perspective. I always get emotional. This is a great interview. We're going to have captioning up in 24 hours. I'm looking forward to our next conversation next week, June 28th, with Andy Arias, actor and disability rights advocate. Please don't forget to share today's video, and please feel free to share your ideas regarding access to focus and or people to interview. Also, follow me on Facebook and Twitter as we continue to share stories. That's what this is all about.
Yes.
And information about the empowerment of disabled people in the U.S. and around the world. Next time I'll bring tissues. And thank you all very much.